Welcome to Prince Shorthand House. Exercise number 138, Sir F.P. Singh. 100 words a minute. Ready? Start. Mr. Vice Chairman, as is customary on this occasion, I shall first review the results of the last financial year. When my able predecessor presented the railway budget for that year, he had every hope that the upward trend in our economy would bolster rail transport and thereby improve railways earnings. Unfortunately, very early in the year, it became apparent that these expectations might not come true. Large scale power shedding, Malki rule, agitation in Andhra Pradesh, strike by engineers of UP State Electricity Board and other disturbances adversely affected the working of major industrial units and the general state of national economy. Against this background, when I presented the revised estimates for that year to the House, I had to scale down the originally estimated surplus of rupees 325 crores to rupees 124 crores. I was still optimistic that despite a shortfall in the originating traffic, the situation would be somewhat retrieved by the increase in the lead, emerging improvement in economic activity, and the favorable change in the overall traffic mix. This hope has, however, not been fulfilled, and the actual surplus for that year has turned out to be only rupees 30 crores. This was mainly because of the gross traffic receipts not reaching the anticipated level. Actual gross traffic receipts for that year came to rupees 1150 crore against rupees 1175 crores assessed in the revised estimates. The budget estimates for last year approved by this House envisaged a surplus of rupees 25 crores. The working results, the railways during the year have, however, undergone a sea change due to the confluence of three vital factors which have simultaneously affected their financial position. These factors are the state of national economy, secondly, the deterioration in staff discipline, and thirdly, the impact of pay commissions recommendations as accepted and liberalized by government. Full stop. Industrial production, which recorded a significant rise in 2002, stagnated during 2003 due to a variety of factors like short supply of steel, coal, and cement. Production was also adversely affected by extensive load shedding and power cuts due to depletion of idle reservoirs, disturbed industrial relations in a number of industries, and strikes in the railways also had an adverse effect. Consequently, the offering of traffic itself to the railway was at the substantially lower level than what was anticipated. At the same time, railways were called upon to transport of top priority from May to July last year 20 million tons of food grains from Punjab and Haryana to the drought affected areas. This was a record movement as only 10 million tons were moved by the railway during the same period in 2002-2003 and 4 million tons during the previous year. The concentrated pressure of food grains traffic in a short time span and the paramount need to rush supplies to the scarcity areas in Maharashtra, Gujarat, West Bengal, and Assam imposed a severe strain on the railway system. The entire operation was undertaken on a firefighting basis so as to reach food grains to scarcity areas in time to stave off starvation. This traffic was moved at the cost of cancelling a number of passenger services and the sacrifice of a considerable amount of high rated general goods traffic. It also involved an increased movement of empty wagons over long distances. Food grains, as the honorable members know, are carried by a railways at a heavily subsidizing rate. Therefore, the greater the number of wagons pressed into transportation of food grains, the larger is the loss to the railways. The railways met the national obligation but not without affecting their pocket. So far as staff discipline is concerned, this has been a particularly bad year for the Indian Railways. From the very beginning, we have been hit by go slow, work to rule, and work to designation, agitations, mass absenteeism, wildcat strikes, bunts, squatting on track, etc. While the agitations unconnected with railway operation impeded our working, the effect of employee agitations has been particularly crippling. Among such agitations are the lightning strike of station masters and assistant station masters during April on Western Railway, the successive strikes and agitations by loco running staff which affected most the zonal railways. The work to rule agitation by staff of signal and telecommunication department during November also took its toll. As a matter of fact, not a month has passed on the railways this year during which train operations were not held up or hampered in one part or the other of the country by such agitations sponsored by certain unrecognized category-wise associations. Consequently, both the financial and operational targets have been upset. Earnings up to the end of December 2003 fell short of expectations by rupees 100 crores. In the original budget, we had assumed that the railways would be carrying 10 million tons of additional revenue earning freight traffic during the year over the that carried during the last year stock.